Good evening, welcome to Republic TV. Joining us on this special broadcast, we have with us AIIMS Director Dr. Randeep Guleria to answer the questions that India is struggling with. Dr. Guleria, thank you for being with us. I ask you first, sir, we've over the past few weeks taken immense guidance from you, tried to understand a lot of things. A lot of people are trying to hoard life-saving drugs. In fact, today when there was a hearing in the Delhi High Court, your name was also taken by the government when it came to the oxygen masks requirement, where the government said a formula is being given for calculating oxygen requirement by Dr. Guleria and one another doctor, taking into account nearly 80% of the cases are mild. What is this oxygen mask requirement panic that's been caused across India, sir?
So I think there are two or three things to understand. The first thing that we must understand is that as far as oxygen requirement is concerned, there is a panic as far as people are concerned, and people are started hoarding oxygen, keeping cylinders at their homes, which is not really required. 85% to 90% of people who have COVID-19 don't need oxygen. People go into a panic when they see that the saturation is falling a little bit, but that is a normal phenomenon. One need not worry. If your saturation is less than 94 and it continues to be that, you must consult your doctor. In many people, it will also stabilize and you may not need oxygen. If your saturation is falling below 90, you should be admitted and then you may need oxygen. Also, if you are having a little oxygen on the lower side, you could lie on your stomach, and that will also help as far as oxygen is concerned. You could do some steam inhalation and deep breathing exercisation. So I would really request that let the oxygen be given by doctors who are able to understand whether it's needed or not, rather than taking cylinders at home and trying to take intermittent oxygen and say that if I take oxygen for about 10 minutes, it may help me. That is of no use, and it's actually wasting precious oxygen, which is like a medicine, and therefore people are not getting it.
Yes. And Dr. Guleria, several places across the country are saying there is shortage of medicine. How do we fix the shortage of medicine that is being experienced across the country?
So again, I think it's important to understand that there is a little bit of a panic reaction, and we must understand that in 85 to 90% of people who have COVID, it's a mild disease. 85% of people will have a mild disease for which they need only symptomatic treatment. You have COVID, you have cold, you have cough, you take your treatment for normal treatment for cough and cold. You have fever, you take your paracetamol for fever, you rest, you keep yourself well hydrated, and gradually you will become all right within 7 to 10 days. You need not worry. You need not take any other medication. You don't need to take drugs like remdesivir or steroids. They may actually cause more harm than good, and that is not required. It's only in the less than 15% that at times you may have moderate to severe disease, and in that group also, in a small percentage of people who are having fall in saturation, who are having infiltrates or shadows on their X-ray or CT scan, do we need to give drugs like remdesivir, and some of them may require to be given steroids if the saturation is falling. So these drugs are only for a limited number of people. But because of a panic reaction, people have started taking these drugs on day one when it's not required, and therefore it is causing an undue shortage. You don't need to take these drugs. They have their own side effects. They may actually cause more harm than good. And therefore, as far as the treatment of COVID-19 is concerned, it's very important to understand that it's not only the drugs. The timing of the drugs is very important. If you take it too early, it can be harmful. If you take it too late, it may be of no use. And that is why it's important for your physician to be able to advise you on this.
Yes. So therefore, Dr. Guleria, this is something I'm picking up from what you're saying. Is it possible to therefore treat COVID-19 without any of the steroids, remdesivir, and other drugs that have been mentioned?
Correct. As a matter of fact, if you look at what's happening not only in India, but what's happening in UK, Europe, and in the US, most of the patients there are treated with just symptomatic treatment. They're given treatment for fever, they're asked to rest at home and monitor themselves, and 85% of people become all right. We don't need to give them any drug. I mean, even drugs like ivermectin, favipiravir, or others have very limited role. There's no data show that it is actually making a big difference. Therefore, I would really say that for majority of people, you just need symptomatic treatment and you will become all right. It's only in a very small percentage that you have to look at giving drugs like remdesivir and steroids. Unfortunately, because of a panic reaction, drugs like in a cocktail are given to people on day one, and sometimes that creates a problem because then it causes more harm and there leads to a unnecessary shortage of drugs.
Dr. Guleria, why do you think there's a sudden rise since January, and when do you think we could possibly in 2021 see a stable situation, a flattening of the curve?
So the rise has happened due to multiple factors, but I think it's a combination of factors which really helped the virus to really spread. One was that we thought that the pandemic is more or less over. Our vaccine has been rolled out, our cases are low, and we really dropped our guard. And there was very little COVID appropriate behavior. A lot of facilities which were set for management or for surveillance were scaled down, and therefore that also created a problem. Secondly, the virus mutated, and we had seen that even in UK, that in November, December, there was a huge surge because of the mutation which was causing a very high infection rate. So it was just a matter of time that this virus would come to India, and this is what happened, that the virus actually came in at a time when we had lowered our guard. The combination actually led to a huge surge in the number of cases, and this is what we're seeing happening nowadays. Now, if you want to bring this curve down, we have to work aggressively on implementing COVID-appropriate behavior, preventing crowds from forming, developing containment zones, having micro lockdown areas, making sure that infection doesn't spread from areas where it is high to areas where it's low, by having total containment in these areas for at least 2 weeks, and making sure everyone is tested, tracking is done there, and isolation is done there. If we do all of this, it's possible that in the next 3 weeks or so, we may have our peak may be there, and we may see a decline in the number of cases. If we don't do this, the peak may get further delayed.
Yes. And what about the new variants that have now come, Dr. Guleria? Everybody talks about them. Do they have something to do with the peak that we are seeing? Do you think that will affect the rise of cases in India in the future?
So variants will keep on developing, and we must understand that we have to try and be ahead of the virus rather than behind it. The virus will change, and it will change in mechanisms where it will become more infectious. It may develop what we call an immune escape mechanism. Therefore, people can get reinfection, or the efficacy of the vaccine may come down. Also, there are chances that sometime it may become more virulent and cause more deaths. Therefore, there is a very important need for us to have a surveillance center so as to be able to survey what mutations are happening, what is developing, and how can we link that with clinical and epidemiological data and develop strategies so that we prevent the spread of disease, we increase our hospital infrastructure, and therefore develop an overall strategy for the management of COVID-19 in the coming few months. If we do that, then in the next few months, we should be able to bring down the cases and then prevent any other peak from coming.
Yes, a lot is being said nowadays about two things, Dr. Guleria. Is COVID airborne? When should we, be thinking of this as being airborne? Because a lot of us are wearing the masks. They say it's no longer surface to surface. Is this something to panic about?
So this is something that has been discussed for many months, and a lot of scientists have really been saying that it is not only a droplet infection, it's also an aerosol infection. So the difference between the two is that when we were talking in the past, we were saying that most of COVID is basically a droplet. That is basically, these are particles which are of a larger size, more than 5 microns, and therefore they cannot travel for a long distance. They quickly fall onto the surfaces, and therefore it's mainly surfaces which get contaminated. Yes. And it stays in the air only for a short duration. And therefore it was that if you were away from an individual more than 2 meters away, the chance of getting infection was less. But we now know that also it can be through aerosol, that is, smaller particles can also have the virus, And this virus can stay in the air for a longer period in time. And therefore, if someone has coughed in a room where ventilation is not good, and someone comes in that room without wearing a mask, and he feels that I'm alone, therefore I can not get the infection. The infection may still be there in the air, the virus still may be suspended in the air, and he can get infected. So the lessons that we have is that even when you're inside an closed environment, especially in an office or in another area, you must continue to wear your mask. And in an indoor environment, we must have very good cross ventilation so that any infection in the air is quickly passed out into the outdoor environment where the virus can die. So windows should be open, there should be good cross ventilations. And if you're in an office, don't let your guard down, continue to wear your mask.
Absolutely. That's something we'll take with us. Thank you, Dr. Guleria, for being with us on Republic TV. This is something we'll follow through because, like you said, the next 3 weeks become extremely crucial for us to fight COVID. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.